mother. We also have the wonderful opportunity. Myla Ruddy is here, and she wants to give away 2 tickets to Seattle Mom Prom, which is another fantastic fundraiser. That's happening Saturday, May 18th. And Myla's going to come up here right now and tell you how you're going to win those tickets.
Okay, so all the ladies in the house, I were asking you ahead of time, like grab your purse right now, and whoever has the weirdest, strangest, interesting thing in their purse is going to win 2 tickets to Seattle Mom Prom worth $40 a piece. They're transferable, so if you don't want to go,
That's pretty good.
okay?
Tape measure.
Tape measure.
Good one. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm looking for that.
I got a plastic winner medal.
Plastic, you gotta yell.
A plastic winner medal.
Nice, okay, and you've got middle, anybody else? Fake $50 bill. Anybody got something better than tiny to be jockey underwear? Yes. Earplugs? Surf dart? Nice. Anybody else? Way back to back.
A knife disguised as a key.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna lock the door, I'm gonna shoot you. Like, what's back there in the back?
Deodorant and chocolate.
Deodorant and chocolate.
Oh, you mean chocolate deodorant?
I'm gonna jockey underwear right here. Let me just quickly tell you what happens. So Seattle Mom Prom is a ladies only event. Celebrates moms. That's it. It's a party. The theme is fun. Candy, cupcakes, wine, an awesome DJ, and it benefits Coast Guard Support International of Washington. And I will say, hands down, most fun you'll have all year. Next to this, but yeah, and you don't have to dress shenanigans like this. You can literally wear what you're wearing and come and rock a party. So May 18th, Saturday after Mother's Day. So when you're washing the dishes from your Mother's Day brunch, a little tear dry. Next Saturday, tickets are $2 or something. First, then they go for $35. Hope to see you guys there.
Before we get rolling, I thought I'd start with a joke. How do you get approximately 200 moms really irate? You use your phone during your show. Please turn those off. You can turn your phones off. Please no flash photography because it's blinding. To folks who hear babes and arms are absolutely welcome, but if everyone gets fussy or doesn't like the language, you might want to plug their ears. But if they get fussy, if you could just take them out in the lobby until they're confident, come on back. Concessions are open, candy open during the show, so your ears, whatever you want. Okay? Have fun. I think you're in for a good show.
What do you
Party at Sarah's house, will you let me go? Amanda, no, we will not let you go. Amanda, will not let you go. Amanda, will not let you go. Will not let you go. Will not let you go. You're not being fair, you're mean. No, 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 no. Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia. If you ask me one more time, I'll scream. I'll scream. I'll So you think I don't care if you stay up and fight? So you think I don't need any sleep tonight? Oh, baby, please just go to sleep, baby. Just gotta get out, just gotta get right out of here. Okay, so this week, like a million people have sent me a video of these two DJ guys getting strapped up to some weird-ass machine. Yeah? Some of you like what it's like to be in labor? Effing hysterical, right? But it's such a joke. Do you even think this seriously comes close to what it's like to be pregnant or to have a baby? Men crack me up. And by crack me up, I mean piss me off. But hey, I get it. I mean, it only go hanging. You see us go through it, you listen to us bitch, whine, and complain, and you think you're all macho and shit, and you want to see for yourself what it's like. Well, then, here are 10 things a gentleman can do to kind of sort of see what it's like to be in labor. Item 1. Go get 50 hard-boiled eggs. Step 2. Eat them all. Step 3. Don't lie on the floor or vomit. Go about your day with your ginormous, protruding, exploding nauseous feeling that makes you want to lay your face against a cold tile floor. Any cold tile floor. Even if you're in one of those nasty-ass gas station bathrooms. A key that's attached to a license plate and covered in invisible fecal matter. Step 4. Do that every day for 9 months. Item 2. For 1 week straight, you're going on a strict diet. No, not ice cream and pickles, jackass. Bitch. All you're going to eat is bananas and cheese until every time you have to go to the bathroom, you're in there for like 20 hours. You poop out the tiniest little minuscule route. Yeah, you're going to maybe so take some iron pills and just make it a little bit worse. Item 3. Go find a grape and ram it up your tush hole. First, put some Tabasco sauce on it so it really burns. Welcome to hemorrhoids. Item 4. Okay, now it's time to gorge. Chocolate, greasy French fries, cheeseburgers, funnel cake. No, I don't know where you're going to get funnel cake this time of year, but get it! When you're done gorging, slather your face in olive oil and go to bed. When you wake up, slather your face in baby oil until your face looks like that of a 13-year-old boy going through puberty with the entire Rocky Mountain range of whiteheads all over his face ready to explode all over the bathroom mirror. Mission accomplished. Okay, so item 5. Well, by now you must be getting pretty tired. Exhale on the caffeine. You're thinking about your own damn self. Think about that egg baby in your belly. It's 8 o'clock, but you're tireder than you've ever been. Time for bed. Anytime you start to fall asleep, someone's going to wake up and kick you square in the belly. Yeah, sucks to be an inside-out piñata, doesn't it? No, item 6. Since there's no way to make your man boobs any bigger, and besides, if we could, you'd probably just feel yourself up all day long. Let's see what it's like to breastfeed once you've got your little poop machine. I mean, yeah, I know. Now, if you have a lactation consultant and you're doing it right, but no one effing does it right the first time, except for those few bitchy people who use comments. Now, for them, breastfeeding was like unicorns kissing their nipples. Majority of us do not find the experience quite so magical. So, gentlemen, here are the objects you're going to need. Vice clamps, a blowtorch, pins, needles, battery acid, and a baby alligator. Apply all to your nipples at once. For about a week. Don't worry, it gets better after that. Item 7. Let's back up a little bit to how glorious it feels to be preggers. So what you need to do is go into your wife's closet and find a pair of pants and just try and squeeze into those. If you can't zipper it all the way up, you just need to pull your shirt down and keep hiking them up all day as you walk around. Now, while you're doing that, you need to go out and buy a pair of shoes too small and try to put them on. Whoa. What the fuck do you think you're doing? You can't lean over. You're like totally preggers and your big ass belly is in the way. Well, you can't do it without leaning over? Guess it's time for flip-flops. Yeah, even though it's negative 200 degrees outside. Whoever came up with the phrase barefoot and pregnant was totally right because your ankles retain like everything you drink. You can't even wear shoes anymore. Well, item 8, this is a tough one. Where the hell is it socially unacceptable for men to have hair? I mean, when I was preggers, I had like 9 new whiskers grown out of my head. Fine, it was a beard. Anyway, since that would be totally normal for a dude, let's pick a body part where it wouldn't be cool. Your nose. So, gentlemen, that is where I need for you to spray the Rogaine, sprinkle it or slather it, however it is you apply that shit. And when at least 9 new hairs have sprouted up from your schnoz right there in the middle, bingo, success. Item 9. Now, if only you had a hole small enough a baby could barely fit out of. Oh, wait, you do! But since your hole is just a wee bit smaller than ours, I'm not going to tell you to push a bowling ball out of it. That wouldn't be fair. I think a baseball is... I don't know how you're going to do it, but somehow you have to figure out how to swallow a baseball and then pee it out. Is that you say?
and stripped down to nothing. That's right. You'll have to do it quick because they don't even allow records of curse words in them. So they'll probably have a problem with a naked man in the middle of the floor. But what you need to do next is just lay back in the Jesus on the cross position, middle of the aisle, and just let everyone go about their business around you. That's right, just totally naked with your fat all splayed out like pancakes. C-section. And so, that's it. These are the 10 items a man can do to kind of, sort of, see what it's like to be pregnant. I mean, no, not even close.
Too much to resist, and she would think to herself, I want that baby. I'm taking it. The other mother would either be strong enough to steal her baby back, or she'd have to give in and let the alpha female have her baby. Don't get all sad here, though. I got sad at first, and then I realized that this is just how shit goes down in the jungle. Snakes. Yes, this is the exact same crap that happens when you have a baby. There's always someone dying, just aching to lend their advice. Because they have that primal need to take care of every single baby that they lay their eyes on. This is why I find that women are either really helpful or really annoying when you have a newborn. They have that primal need to help, but not you, the baby. It's not always the same thing. They want to take your baby and climb high up into a tree to make sure that it isn't subjected to whatever thing they don't subscribe to, like a pacifier, or co-sleeping, or crying it out. Most people have developed a filter to suppress this instinct. Just die a little inside. In the grocery store, when I heard a newborn crying and I wanted to smash through the cereal aisle like the fucking Kool-Aid man to try to save it. However, I don't want to be arrested or have a collection of babies in the fucking tree. So I just keep that shit to myself. But you'll see it seeping out of people. You can tell it's squeaking out like a duck fart because they will talk to your baby instead of you, asking things like, "Oh, are you hungry?" Or so tired, my sweet little girl," or "Why doesn't your mommy put some socks on your feet?" You are not in the equation. They see a baby in need, and that's it. When they do this, they're just trying to help. It's instinct kicking in, and they want to protect the baby from what they view as harmful. They can't resist it. So I have a new theory. All you have to do is gently but firmly hold their arm and whisper, "I know what you're trying to do. You are trying to steal my monkey baby." Bother though, because let me tell you something. I am the alpha female here, so you need to back the hell off and go back to smelling your own monkey ass. It's a little heavy-handed. Whether she bows her head submissively to recognize your status, or suddenly backs away because she's convinced you're fucking nuts. I have the utmost confidence that it will work. My God, it will work.
So there's my daughter, sprawled out on a leather chair, eyes glazed over, watching her 4th episode of Wonder Cats. Am I the worst mother on the planet for needing to get my bills paid and read the latest on Katy Perry? Just another half an hour, I tell myself, which inevitably turns into, "One more show, Mommy." "No, I'm sorry, sweetie, but it's time to turn off the television and play outside for a while. I just want to watch a little more TV. And I just want to read the internet a little longer." It seems like a win-win situation. Pesky warnings about too much TV and your ADD are liquefying her brain. I imagine all those other moms who at this moment are coming up with some great project to do that involves glue and glitter and cutting shapes out of construction paper. Maybe I should just stick a huge pile of cookies in front of her and a gallon of chocolate milk to wash down Netflix to the next Wonder Pets. Is that drool coming off her chin? I want to slip my wrists right now out of guilt, but I don't. I finish paying my bills and try to find out where the latest celebrity couple broke up. Never far from my mind, though, is my daughter, who, although happier than a gay man at a Cher concert right now, is obviously not getting the best of her mother. This self-loathing moment was brought to you by your local smug mama. Those moms who will look you straight in the eye and say, "Oh, my child doesn't watch TV." You're surrounded by them. Moms who are busy trying to outdo one another on every level. Obviously, not every woman is like this. Most are mere mortals, but the thing to remember, the thing that will save you, is that these women lie. When a man has the nerve to ask a woman how many sexual partners she's had, no matter what she says, the man tacks on at least 5 more, right? I mean, hey, who among us hasn't shaved off a one-night stand or 4 from our spotty section? Yes, women can use this trick too in a different arena. The competitive cutthroat sport of, I can do everything better than you. I call this new mommy math, and it's all about easy addition. When Smug Mama tells you straight to your face that she absolutely only allows 1 hour of educational TV a day, just go ahead and add 2. If she tells you no TV ever, add 6. It's that simple. If you think you don't need my help, think again. Smug mamas are everywhere, and they can strike at any time. You'll be at the park having a perfectly great conversation with a real mom about breakfast cereal. God, remember Count Chocula? I used to live off that stuff. Oh yeah, but whatever happened to Blueberry, the one with the ghost on the front and the marshmallows? I haven't seen that since I was a kid. Suddenly, Smug Mama will burst out from behind the and blurt out Tourette style, "Oh, we would never let Dakota Ryder eat sugary cereal. We're a sugar-free household. Dakota Ryder banjo only eats no taste of anything that tastes remotely edible flakes from Whole Foods. They're only $85 a box." Sounds good. Really? You gotta keep on for that? Your first reaction may be to recall with horror that your son ate a fruit roll-up and half a muffin, fine, a cupcake for breakfast. You'll feel terrible and less than. But wait, stop. Use your new mommy math. Bran flakes my ass. Sure, Smug Mama may have offered that up, but no toddler would eat that crap. She's lying. Go ahead and switch bran flakes to corn pops, and you may be getting closer to the truth. Now add some sugar on top, and you're probably somewhere in the actual vicinity. Feel better? Similarly, if Smug Mama tells you her child is allowed only 2 cookies after breakfast, dinner, feel safe adding 5 more. If she tells you no cookies, only fruit, go with 8. Now you're starting to get it. The formula is the inverse. The more super the mom, the more super the liar. My husband and I once went to a friend's adults-only soiree. The host, a woman I never really clicked with, was the mom of 3 rambunctious boys. The first thing I noticed was that the house was immaculate. Not a Hot Wheel in sight. Of course, you know me. I had to go there. How do you do it? How can your house be this clean with 3 boys around? You actually have clean guest towels and no hair in your sink. What's your secret? I actually love cleaning. I clean every day anyway, so when a party comes, I'm already halfway there. I practically had an aneurysm on this last week, so I turned and headed straight for the bar for a much-needed run. Sometimes, the only remedy for a dose of smug, besides emergency, is to get yourself into the company of some real moms for a reality check. Real moms let you in on the fact that sometimes they're inconsistent with their discipline, and that they have at times totally lost it over something minor, like their toddler pushing the thumbs down button on Pandora when their favorite song is on. Real moms know that trying to limit TV to half an hour a day is about as realistic as saying Beyonce is a terrible dancer. They'll also let you know that their 4-year-old 4-year-old is only 80% potty trained. Real moms know that when it comes to parenting, there is no perfect scorecard. No matter how many hours you spend coloring, reading stories, kissing boo-boos and singing songs, there are going to be times that you come up short. And most of us just try to accept that the best that we can.
Growing up as the daughter of a single mother, I swore I'd never be one myself. My mother did her best, as I think most of us do, and I was well aware of the fact that her situation, our situation, was far from ideal. My mother worried about money, which was with good reason because we were broke a lot of the time. My mother was lonely, although she would never admit it. My mother was overwhelmed. Did I want to face the same struggles when it was my turn to be a mom? No way. Well, you know what they say about the best laid plans. At least I was prepared. As a divorced mother, too, the territory I travel day to day feels largely familiar. Had I been raised in a two-parent household, I think single motherhood might have been more of a shock to my system. I've been here before, just on the other side. So I'm never surprised by the questions people ask or the comments they make when they find out I'm divorced. I've heard that before. Of course, that doesn't make it okay. If you're not a single mom, you might be shocked to hear how nosy and insensitive even perfect strangers can be. And if you are a single mom, you've no doubt heard most of these yourself. Like this little gem.
Gee, what happened to their dad?
This one drives me nuts for several reasons. First of all, it's none of their business. Plus, the question implies that you're a single mom because you were abandoned, widowed, or otherwise rendered powerless to change your fate. What happened to their dad? He fell in love with a nanny and ran away. Whatever your answer is, it's expected to be a variation on something happened to make him not want to be married to me anymore. It's sexist, quite frankly. And then there's this little gem.
Well, how are your kids dealing with everything?
From the patronizingly pitying facial expressions that accompany this question, I'd say everything is code for the chaos and instability in your fractured family's home life. So things never get chaotic in a two-parent household, is that right? Spare me the dime store psychology. And then there's this.
Does their father help you out?
I'm never quite sure if that is an inquiry as to the exact dollar amount and frequency of mandated child support payments, or just a way for people to say, I can tell you're poor because you have that beat-up old car. Those look like they came off the clearance rack. I just want to know how poor so I can feel better about my own two-income household. How about this?
At least you get some time off while your kids are with your ex.
I've made jokes on those same lines myself. The only good thing about divorce is joint custody, etc., but they were, as I said, jokes. In no way, shape, or form does having regularly scheduled alone time make up for the drawbacks of being a single parent. Make no mistake, there is no break from motherhood. There's only that ever-present hum of anxiety that happens anytime the kids aren't in my immediate proximity for more than a day. And then there's my favorite of favorites.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is. Being a divorced mother's a shame? Whose shame? Whose shame? Not mine. Even if that isn't intended to be a slight, the direct translation is, oh, too bad your life sucks. Who said my life sucks?
I am the expert on getting old. All of us approaching our dotage are very sad about it. Enough has been written about don't go gently into that good night, or whatever that old quote is. Aging isn't fun, no, but there are some real benefits. First of all, If you are over 50, you're really not in the dating pool anymore. So if you are an older single, face facts. You'll have to take what you can get and be thrilled about it. But on the other hand, you can go to the store without makeup and no one cares. You can go out to get a quart of milk looking like the cow that gave it. Well, hang out, you have earned it. Now that I am almost a senior citizen, 60 is the new 30. I have a much more relaxed worldview. I spent many sleepless nights in my youth worrying about all kinds of horrors unmentionable. But I have learned that humans adapt, solve problems, and invent really good things like vaccines and cheap macaroni and cheese. And the world continues to turn. Goodness almost always prevails, and when it doesn't, somebody comes along to kick the bad guys in the ass. Of course, we all loved our children very much, but they left crusty cereal bowls under their beds and got gum stuck in their hair. Now our houses are clean. There aren't any backpacks in the foyer. And I haven't been to a high school play in years. I now know that all of you mommies who wonder how you will survive when your babies leave home, do. And you will go out and take Zumba lessons. And you will eat in restaurants weekly with your husbands. And forget how to cook recipes that result in leftovers. I get to do all kinds of things that you young ones don't have the freedom to do. Now that I'm right here, looking at the world backwards and forwards, I like where I am just fine. If you are middle-aged or younger, don't you dare pity my wrinkles. I have earned every one of them. Feel free to envy me, because I am having a blast.
So according to Facebook, here's how I spent my Saturday with my kids. My children and I woke up with the sun, smiling and ready to kick ass and make it a great day. We drank our morning drinks in latte cups with foamy milk mustaches on our upper lips. We played backgammon. We danced through orchards. We rocked out to Red Hot Chili Peppers. Because that's how we roll. Just another day of being totally awesome. And while all of that is basically true, I'm also full of shit. So here's how it really went down. And I did wake up with the sun way too early because somebody forgot to close the blinds. Sure, they were smiling and ready to kick ass and make it a great day. I wasn't. But hey, I had enough stamina to trudge out of bed, turn on the TV, power up the DVD player, and press play. By the time Belle finished bitching and moaning about her provincial life, I was asleep. And then I dreamed there was this dog kissing my face, so I hid it away, and my daughter screamed, "Don't hit me, It's my daughter was the dog, and it was clearly time to brush teeth because I'd forgotten the night before. So we brushed teeth and took turns peeing. Mama, why does your vagina have a tail? Oh, that's a tampon. What's a tampon? Honest and direct answers, right, people? Tampons go inside your vagina. Why? month, which she promptly unwraps, grabs by the string, and hits his sister. So eventually the kids go back to watching TV, and I hit up Facebook to see what everyone else is doing. Most of my Facebook friends with kids were telling their Saturday stories for the world to like.
Yeah.
Homegirl posted a picture of her and Herbert frolicking in a field of red hobbies. I felt a twinge of envy and clicked like. Another friend wrote, "My hubby makes the best pancakes for our little man." And I threw up a little in my mouth. I also clicked like. And not to be outdone, I uploaded our new spontaneous pictures, which had been taken with the help of a camera timer. Sunny Saturday, I wrote in the status. Not a total liar, I'm just good at PR. So time passes, 5 minutes, an hour. You know, when you're blissfully ignoring your kids, the minutes slip by oh so very quickly. So we're on the third cycle of Beauty and the Beast when the internet went out. And I started to shake. I couldn't read because guess what? Now I have to actually spend my entire weekend with the kids. With the kids. And here's the dirty little secret I'll never admit on Facebook. I love my kids every freaking second. Would I die for them? You bet. Would I kill for them? If you hurt my child, I will cut you. But I don't always want to be with them. And meanwhile, we're also out of coffee. So we get dressed. My son wants to wear his sister's dress. She doesn't wear the dress. She shouts, "Penises don't wear dresses." Penises do wear dresses. Do not choose. Well, I come out screaming, right? What the hell is going on? Get dressed. Get dressed in here right now. Come on, come on, come on, come on. People, when you're parenting solo and the internet is out and you need your coffee, you do what works. Believe you me, that worked. Go on, but you get the idea. Yes, there were blissful moments on that Saturday with my kids. Moments I quickly captured in photographs and Facebook statuses like butterflies pinioned to a board. Look, everyone! Look, my kids are happy! We're happy! I'm happy! We're happy! And yes, we are happy most of the time, but there are times when we aren't. And by only sharing the cute and cuddly moments, I ignore the importance of the raw and the real hours that are spent in the trenches, making mistakes and learning from them. Sure, there are great times that should be celebrated. Sure, when our kids do awesome things, by all means, get your brag on. But let's not tell each other so many lies by omission. My life on Facebook is an airbrushed and Instagrammed image of my life. I edit the suckage because I want people to think I have my shit together. Right? I give everything this hipstacular filter to make the drudgery look interesting. Most of the time I think I'm a decent mom, and I think I'm giving my kids a pretty good life. But I also think I'd be a better mom if I stopped pretending and making my friends on Facebook feel like they have to pretend as well. Anyway, for the lies of omission I've told on Facebook, I am sorry. Really sorry. I can't promise I won't do it again. But I can promise that I'll try to be older for all of our sakes. Parts of my Saturday sucked big time. And I'm telling you this because I bet parts of your Saturday sucked big time too. And if that's the case, I want you to know that all my shiny happy status messages aside, I get it. And if you want to talk about parenting with me, like really break it down so we can rebuild, I'm here.
Dear boss, let me be blunt. I deserve a raise. Actually, I deserve a salary. I have 9 years tenure in my present position. My job includes regular overtime and I'm on call 24 hours a day. When I go on vacation, I have to take my work with me. Accepting the intangible benefits, which are the only reason why I'm doing this gig in the first place, I receive no salary, no benefits, no retirement fund, no insurance, no sick days, and no stock options. My work role requires knowledge and skill in many areas and include, but are not limited to, the following.
Chef, specializing in the creative and quick presentation of PBJ and other nutritious entrees for the discriminating palate.
Transportation director, responsible for delivering clients to school, extracurricular activities, doctor's appointments, and miscellaneous other locations. Frequently required to be in 2 locations at once.
Residential property manager. Oversee maintenance of residential unit that receives high traffic and heavy duty use.
Chief financial officer, responsible for ensuring that outflow does not exceed inflow. Also responsible for bookkeeping.
Triage nurse, responsible for dispensing Band-Aids and making preliminary medical assessments.
Handy woman, responsible for fixing most everything myself. My autocorrect says that the correct spelling of handy woman is handy man. Responsible for turning said autocorrect off.
Sanitation director, responsible for dust ball removal, maintaining the laundry pile at a height of no more than 3 feet, keeping bathroom mildew under control, and sandblasting dishes. I have never been cited by the health department.
Activities coordinator, have computerized this department, which enables all parties to see the bigger picture. Must always be prepared for last-minute changes due to weather, school-related closings, illness, ex-spouse, and/or babysitter.
Education director and daycare coordinator. Must enroll children in appropriate educational facilities, fill out all required paperwork, and cheerfully help at numerous class parties and field trips. When educational facilities are closed, I'm also responsible for ensuring that another responsible person caring for their children should I not be available, say if I'm working or have major surgery scheduled.
Procurement specialist. This area entails providing all necessary supplies, such as food, clothing, and toys for our growing
My competence in these areas has been a strong contributing factor to the successful growth of this organization. I would like to highlight some of our accomplishments to date. My clients are healthy, growing children. They are bright, inquisitive, and excel in their schoolwork. They are loving and caring individuals who I believe will be valuable contributors to the growth of this organization. I would expect the usual perks that befit a person in my position. If you have any questions about my proposal, I can possibly slot you in between Sissy's Taekwondo and Billy's ballet. Sincerely, Malia Muth, CEO.
It was the night before Mother's Day, and I lay awake, thinking of how my darlings would make my day great. I'd wake up on my time and I'd jingle a bell, and my kids, they'd come running to wish my day well. They'd crawl into my bed and snuggle so sweetly for just a few minutes, and then they'd retreat discreetly. So my husband would deliver a latte that's double tall, non-fat, with no foam on top. We'd linger a bit while the kids made me breakfast. Eggs over easy, a mimosa, no mess. Wait, that is not at all how my Mother's Day is going to go. So, it was the night before Mother's Day. I lay awake, knowing the way the route my Mother's Day would actually take. My slumber disturbed much too early, still dark out. My 2 hovering faces set to pout. Are you sleeping
battle of who's best. What a din. I can't interject, my words don't fit in. They hand me cold coffee and they balance the tray before forcing me out of bed on my big day. Post-breakfast, post-coffee, postcards and those gifts, my husband will slink in looking a bit miffed. The weather, it's crummy. There goes our hike. The one I planned for us all on that trail that you like. I don't want to hike. An afternoon movie is calling. But the kids, they have their hearts set, and so those smiles, they're falling. So instead of a pedicure or a day with my book, I'll don all my rain gear and I'll go look at that brook. Lunch will be packed by my kids and my hubby, and then smashed into the backpack that's sandy and grubby. The kids, they'll both fall, a skinned knee, a bent ankle, then argue who tripped whom. My nerves, they'll start to rankle. My husband will gaze off at the beauty around, the mountains, the trees. Look, it's Puget Sound. But I'll think of that movie, that martini lunch with my friends, the day that I'd wished for. Then my fantasy, it bends, because the bickering quiets and laughter begins, and a hug out of nowhere quietly descends, because my brood, they remember the days about me. They forget the squabbles, they forget that skinned knee. We start back down that path to the handmade cards and those flowers, to family games in our living room that could go on for hours. My daughter, she'll make dinner, and my son sets the table. My husband pours wine, and that part isn't a fable. I'd still love that spa day, a cocktail lunch with my friends, but my kids, they're older, and soon this all ends. So I'll take the cards. I'll take the cards and the breakfast and that walk in the rain. I'll take the complaining and the Band-Aids and the pounds that I'll gain. Oh, who am I kidding? I am totally a brat. I want a day of my own and all of that.
This past Sunday was St. Patrick's Day, a holiday I had completely forgotten about until my oldest stumbled out of bed and into the living room at about 11:30 p.m. Saturday night while we were watching TV. Can I help you guys hide the gold coins? The what? The gold coins. I know the leprechauns aren't real. I know it's you, like Santa, so I'll help you. I can make the leprechaun trap too. We told him to go to bed and then looked at each other with exasperation. Gold coins? A leprechaun trap? Is he serious? When I was a kid, we celebrated St. Patrick's Day by wearing something green in the end. I had noticed that over the past few years, our kids were getting some grander ideas from school, but I didn't think we needed to replicate these experiences at home. Apparently, the children believed that we did. All four of them woke up at 6 a.m. and came into our room like it was Christmas morning. Did a leprechaun visit? Did we search for him? Did he leave a pot of gold? Oh, let's go find the gold coins. I bet he left chocolate. So many expectations. All of which were dashed. I had 4 seriously disappointed and grumpy kids on my hands. At one point, my daughter went into full-blown meltdown mode, kicking random items in her room and yelling about what a lame holiday this was. And in my overly tired, impatient state, I might have yelled back, "You're right! This is a lame holiday! It was never my favorite. All we did was wear green, and that's all we're doing today." I'm sorry if you do more at school. That's not what we do here. I don't know where you're hearing this stuff, but it's it's not happening here. Fellow parents, St. Patrick's Day is supposed to be a phoned-in holiday. Yes, I've turned into a bit of a Grinch, but seriously, with the holiday overkill. It used to be that Christmas was the main event, but now it's as if every holiday must be at a level 10. And if Christmas wasn't already hard enough as a parent, someone else decided that you have to move an elf around every day. And then someone else decided that the Advent calendar was a thing beyond a simple religious observation, and now involves some kind of gift each day leading up to Christmas. And about a month after having suffered through that, we've got Valentine's Day, which has become the new Halloween, because, God forbid, you send a simple store-bought card. You better include some candy, or your child will be shunned. Shunned! One of my kids came home with not just the candy from each class, but a whole freaking goodie bag from each student. And then, I think I've got a break for a month. But no, surprise! We've got 100 days of school to celebrate. And by celebrate, I mean the kids sticking 100 things on a hat. And by the kids, I mean me. And suddenly, pie day is a thing? My children expect to be served pie because someone at school told them so. And Dr. Seuss's birthday. That's a great event for school. But my kids are now asking what we're doing to celebrate that at home too. And do not even get me started on what Easter has become. When I was a kid, my mom went to the store, bought us a new dress and a pre-made plastic Easter basket for $8.99. The end. There was candy and we loved it. Maybe we would dye some eggs from a kit sitting at the checkout lane. But now, we've got to leave footprints from the Easter bunny. Artful, Pinterest-worthy eggs with and probably some that are ombre. Ain't nobody got time for that? I don't like the feeling of disappointing my kids, but I refuse to give in to this holiday overkill. I'm overwhelmed enough as it is. Today I gave all my kids a bath. We read with each of them for the recommended 20 minutes. We reviewed our math facts. We practiced guitar. We sat together at the table and ate a meal that was not procured at the drive-thru. We played outside. Most days, I'm struggling to achieve all these things. I can't have these haphazard, once-monthly, overblown holidays take over my life. I can go big for Christmas and Easter, and that is all I can handle. But I can't do this alone. Fellow parents, teachers, Sunday school workers, I beseech you, bring it down a notch. Expectations that I just can't maintain. Wouldn't we all be just a little happier if we returned to the slacker days of store-bought Valentines and kid-tied eggs and just wearing a green shirt and calling it a day? For the sake of overwhelmed parents like me, I beg you, stop the madness!
So there's something subtle about me that I know some of you may not have noticed, so I'll let you in on a little secret. I only have one leg. So some of you may be wondering, is she really a mom? Does she have kids? I do, I have 3 of them. My girls are 19 and 16, and my boy is 2.
Yeah.
You may be thinking that she's handicapped. I mean, what's it like to take care of kids with only one leg? You know, I have no idea what it's like to take care of kids with 2 legs. I had 2 legs until I was 15, and then I had bone cancer, and now for 30 years I've had 1 leg. This is my body. This is how I do things. So when it came to parenting, what do? I figure it out as I go along. Just like you guys, I'll figure it out as you go along. It started 20 years ago when I was pregnant with my first. I had no idea what childbirth was going to be like. I had no idea what pregnancy would be like, or carrying a baby, or carrying a preemie toddler. It actually turned out pregnancy was really easy for me. when I took birth childbirth class, I remember the time where you get down on the floor, you all practice your breathing exercise, well, right? At the end of it, I would just stand up. And then I'd look around the room and see all the other pregnant mamas. So on the other weeks of class, I made sure to get up slowly so no one felt bad. So, with carrying my kids, I figured out over time, I can carry kids. It's not a big deal, right? Today, though, still sometimes people don't believe that. I took my toddler son to the community center, and as I was getting him out of the car, a nice older couple came up and said, well, could we carry him in for you? No, I got it. You can carry him by yourself? Why would I have brought him here by myself if I... So I thank them, because people who offer to help strangers make the world a better place, right? Yeah. But I also kind of want to say, not only can I carry them, I can carry them upstairs by myself. And not only that, earlier today I walked upstairs on crutches, holding my toddler and breastfeeding him while I did it. How many people on the planet can do that one? Do I do some things differently? Can I have one leg? Almost certainly. Sometimes I have to be creative, adapt things a little bit. I remember once when the girls were younger, Peter and I decided to go to holiday ice skating in Bellevue. Minnie was probably 7, Izzy was about 3. The plan was I was going to sit on the sidelines and watch, and Peter was going to help Izzy, and Amelia was going to skate on her own. It ended up with Peter helping Amelia, and me out there with Izzy. We were doing fine. I can go around on ice, it's good. But then an employee of the rink came up and said, nobody's allowed on the ice without an ice skate on. I explained our situation, the crutches. And it's for everyone's safety. I said, everyone here is going to be safer if I was on ice. I wasn't sure what to do, but then I looked at my girls, and Amelia was really worried, and Izzy was looking sad. So I said, you know what? Figure it out. No problem. So I went over to put on an ice skate. I stood up. I sat down. I made my crutches 3 inches longer. And then we went out and ice skated. People wonder if my kids have to adapt to me having one leg. That's all my kids have ever known. That's what moms are. My boy, by the time he was 10 months old, if he wanted me to go somewhere with him, he'd go get my crutches and drag them over to him. And my girls, when kids come up to them in the playground and ask them, your mom only has one leg. My girls have a whole collection of developmentally appropriate answers, all tailored to whatever age a child is asking. Almost all their answers are true. Sometimes we tell the shark attack story, but rarely. Are there perks to having one leg? Have you guys ever been in a parking lot with your toddler who has his Thomas the Tank Engine that he drops and it rolls underneath that big SUV and you're wondering how you're going to get it out of there? You want to screaming in the parking lot? Heard that when you have a four-wheel with you? Yeah. And I'm guessing that your kids would rather go to Disneyland with me than with you. At the airport, they skip us right past all the security lines. We board the plane early. We park really close to the gate. Yeah, we get to skip all the lines. Anyone from Space Mountain again? So people ask me all the time, how do you do it? I know there are other people out there in the audience with various challenges. Parent of twins, someone with 2 boys under 2. Yes. Someone with a child with ADHD or autism. We all face a variety of challenges, and I know when you have some of those challenges, people come up to you over and over and say, I just don't know how you do it. And here's the thing.
train picture could not be satisfied with anything but the real McCoy. Not the sizable Thomas the Tank Engine Railway he directed in his room, not the Where Are the Trains video he loved, not me racer in the house going, woo woo! The train picture meant one thing, the train. And if the train could not be produced in a timely manner, I knew I needed to be prepared for hell, which was sure to break loose all over the house. So one day, car's in the shop, and I had no way to get down the tracks quickly, and Aiden pulls the train. And I could have sworn he handed it to me with one eyebrow raised, daring me not to go. I tried to keep it pleasant. No train, honey, today. The train is sleeping. And Aiden emphatically waved the picture of the train in front of my face. Oh, look, it's lunchtime. Let's look at the schedule. Ooh, mac and cheese, aren't you a lucky boy? And again, the picture settled so close to my face I could almost taste it. Aiden, please, not today. We can't see the train today. Well, we can play train. And I ran to his room to drag out as many box cars as I could find. And then I turned to see Aiden standing in the doorway, arms down to his sides, his little fist clenched, his lip quivering. I hear the storm before it even blew in. It's moments like these that I felt so deeply the tempest that raged inside of me that it almost became part of me as well. Or perhaps it was part of me. Because as I watched my son so frustrated, unable to communicate beyond the picture in his hand, unable to navigate the power of his desire to see the train, and so confused by emotions checking through him like a steam engine going at full speed, I understood that none of this was his fault. He didn't understand waiting. He didn't even understand hugging most of the time. He didn't understand autism, and neither did I. But I did understand the rawness of what he felt. And when I did, my sorrow for his lack of regulation and control, how really scary it must feel for him, it was piercing as the scream that I knew was rising up from his belly. And so I'm tired, I haven't had a lot of sleep, but I want to save my son from that wretched screaming monster, so I sprang to the door and pulled him to my chest and thought fast. Okay, baby, let's see the train. I tied Aiden in the backpack so quickly I shot the scream right out of it. Within minutes, we had started the 5-mile trek to the nearest train tracks. When we arrived 2 hours later, I was dripping in sweat. It was 98 degrees outside, and Aiden is no small kid. Surprisingly, Aiden hadn't complained the entire time, as if he knew this sacrifice was for him, as if he wished to give me something in return, a small gift. So we sat on the bridge above the tracks, eating bananas and cold mac and cheese for nearly another 2 hours before the first train rolled beneath us. A Canadian Pacific engine followed by 47 Burlington Northern cars. As I watched Aiden, I knew I would walk 1,000 miles just for this. To see that smile, that happiness, which was the absolute opposite of scream, fell not on my son's face, but his entire body hummed with happiness. And I could tell, even though he couldn't say the words out loud yet, that he was counting 47, I said. And I knew it was right because his smile got bigger. Whenever I guessed the wrong number of cards, he'd pat my leg and shake his head. And I'd go up or down until I hit the right number. I knew that inside that silence, my son was brilliant. Aiden looked at me, beaming, turned back to the track as the caboose filed under the bridge. Train, he said. His first real word. I looked at my son. Tears were streaming down my face, understanding that what happened before was for this. Every time was for this. Every scream of wanting to say his first clear word to me. Aiden wiped a tear from my face and looked it down his finger and examined it curious. Train? He asked. A beautiful train, Aiden.
Save the occasional kitty blowjob so it would stick around forever. 6 weeks to the day. But actual penetration at that point seems positively ludicrous. So, you and your hot musician husband opt for some soft foreplay. More specifically, your hot musician husband opts for giving you the lady business down under, while your newborn daughter sleeps soundly in the bassinet beside you. Even though you have observed new parenting sex rule number 1, cover up your face with a pillow to drown out the sound of any hospital pleasure. Your child wakes up mid, you know.
Yeah.
And your husband, who is closer, picks her up. Without thinking, he kisses your crying child. Thus accidentally planting some of you onto her tiny baby activity. This has an immediate discussion about nurture versus nature and whether or not you just engage in a form of incest by letting your baby see your naked and coating her face with, you know. Surely it could be construed as child abuse to do it with your child in the same room, right? How else do you describe the heinous, spontaneous act which just transpired? Well, the first thing you do is move the baby into her own bed in her own room at the far end of the house. It's awkward enough trying to get back in the game without a petite voyeur loitering nearby. Which is crazy because back in the good old days, last year, you would have neglected the opportunity for some rebellious, down and dirty misbehavior. That's the thrill of getting caught. Good times. Back when sex wasn't under constant surveillance, you and your husband did it all the time. The old you couldn't wait to use sex to express your emotions and let off steam. If you were angry, you had sex. If you were happy, you had sex. If you were bored or lonely or mentally foggy, you had sex. Never hemmed and hawed. Never looked for ways to avoid, postpone, or permanently prevent sex from occurring. But let's face it, when you have a baby, there just isn't time for the luxury of your basic needs. Post-taught lovin' simply deteriorates to a wholly artificial, time-consuming, unnatural act. And it's a nap threat. I mean, if you don't even have time to shower, eat, or cry, would anyone choose recreational copulation when they could be catching up on much-needed sleep? I mean, my God! Wouldn't we all rather be sleeping? Or is it just me? Sorry, but I just don't feel sexual these days. Not yet, anyway. I just feel like a mom. I just feel like feeling like a mom. Besides being dangerously sleep-deprived, another obvious reason sex turns ick after having a baby is that my body is now unrecognizably gelatinous. Actually, with the addition of a little sympathy weight, my husband isn't exactly firm either.
Yeah.
Puppy. I am, of course, referring to the flap of skin that now hangs above my vagina, the second tummy below my navel, my fat upper pussy. Suddenly grabbing my hips and stealing a kiss in the corridor just aren't doing it for me now. I far and away prefer help with the baby's laundry or keeping a kitchen sink area tidy. Unfortunately, he still prefers the same old regular sexy stuff that he used to
non-sexual phase, though rarely discussed publicly, is perfectly normal and will naturally pass. Somewhere around the time I get my stomach back, my hormones regulate, and my kid legitimately sleeps through the night. In the meantime, I can take the advice that all the therapists, self-help books, and other moms before me suggest. Dim the lights, drink some alcohol, and celebrate that I have morphed into a spider-veiny, love-handling, stretch-marked creature that my husband still wants to get down with. And by God, force myself to get into the nastiness of dry tunnel milk shooting, new mom hanky-panky. My marriage will be healthier and stronger because we'll be showing up for each other in the best possible way, with trust, honesty, integrity, and love. As for getting back in the groove, my inner Catherine Deneuve is lurking and will surely emerge someday. I look forward to once again wanting sex with my dear, sweet, loyal, patient, sexy, loving husband. As gross as that sounds to me right now.
Your teens, 20s, 30s, or one long big blur of doing whatever the fuck you want.
Your life was awesome. And now, it's over. You kept diaries. Remember that one decade where you never woke up before 11 a.m.? It will never happen again. Not even when your kid is out of the house. By then, you'll be a senior citizen. Guess what old people do? They wake up early. Earlier than toddlers. They put on roller sweats and power walk around the mall.
Oh, come on up here, sweetie. Way to ruin your life early.
Somebody didn't get the memo called, you can have a life first. While other women were celebrating their quinceañeras, studying for the SATs, graduating from college, you had a baby. You didn't fall for that Gen X hype stuff about having it all. Unlike your old mom counterpart, you decided to do the hard stuff first. It matters not how you got to motherhood, clumsy prom love, or just family tradition. The point is, when your kids are out of the house, you'll be in your late 30s. Oh, you'll be in your 40s, maybe even late 30s.
God damn you. You're still flat ass. Even your easy delivery, your eyes without dark circles, no matter how many times that baby wakes you up. Young mom, you will find no empathy here. Because you are young. This is how good you have it. If you were a stripper, after the baby came, you could be back on that pole in 2 weeks like nothing ever happened. You get extra tips from guys with a breastfeeding fetish. Fair.
Well, here are few tips for you gals.
It's no one's business how you got pregnant. Did that baby come from your last good egg or someone else's fresh one? Anyway, it's nobody's business. The only thing that matters is that you did it.
Watch your mouth. Never say, oh, I never wanted to be one of those old moms. You may be speaking one of those old moms who's had so much Botox she looks your age.
What if your daughter is like you and she waits until she's almost 50 to have a baby? You'll be a first-time grandma at 90. That's old testament shit, but watch. Think how convenient it'll be when be nearby, staring at the wall in the dimension.
Show some respect. Old moms are Juvederm pioneers whose old age and brave work in the elimination of worry lines make sure that your old age is wrinkle-free. Maybe by the time you're old, they'll have figured out how to fix necks.
Oh, God, please.
Shitty moms and great shitty moms. You won't resent this kid for stealing your youth because you squandered it all by yourself.
Right.
Young mom, you can't blame any career setbacks on mommy trackings. Your accomplishments, your pride, and your lack of them is your fault. But don't be too hard on yourself. If you couldn't get it together before you had the baby, you probably were never going to get it together.
Pretend you understand their references. If they start talking about the Pretenders or the Beastie Boys, just nod and smile. You can Google their dinosaur bands later.
But you have perspective. You can enjoy the little moments. You have proof that life goes by fast. Your own middle age. Does a 20-year-old mom understand that life is short? No. She thinks life takes forever, mostly because she can't drink yet.
Don't ruin it. From now on, use birth control until you've reached full-blown menopause. You don't want to be a young mom and an old mom. And you pretty much be a mom your entire adult life, like me. So,
You missed out on some wild times, not including the one that got you pregnant at 16. But your 40s will be everyone else's 20s.
Instead of contributing to a college fund, get a really good life insurance policy. You might die before your kids' student loans kick in.
I finally swore at my daughter. She's 13, going on Satan. Just you don't think I'm swearing at a toddler. No, she is 13 years old. I have sworn near her before, as she was leaving the room or already left, quietly, enough so that she couldn't hear me, and she's got really good hearing, so I was chancing it all those times. All those times she really pissed me off. All those times she said, I don't care what you think, or what are you going to do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. You know, all those times you took away TV, but it didn't last? What are you going to do about it? Well, I could swear under my breath as you leave the room. I could do that. But just a side note, when they berate you for breaking those rules they hate, what is that? It's kind of like a guy on a pirate ship being flogged saying, you skipped one, lame-o. It took me a while to figure out what it was doing when I was sending those bombs out into the ether. I know I felt better saying them. It feels good. Wrath. As I look back on it, though, I didn't want her to think those stealth bombs actually came from me. What I was really hoping was to hang them out there in the air anonymously and hope she'd walk into them and say, I'm a fucking bitch. I'm gonna have to look into that. All that was unexamined until one day I let it fly with her standing right there. Here's the scene. It's morning on a school day. My daughter's already skipped her first class. It's AMPE, morning gym class. Kind of a Guantanamo for teenagers. It starts at 7:30 in the morning. I have a certain amount of sympathy, but I won't go into all the time she's already skipped AMPE, just to let you know that sympathy has its limits. So now it's 8:30, and we've moved past PE and are rapidly entering first period. So I'm in my office, writing a note for school, perjuring myself for my daughter, when she walks in. Where's my jacket? Well, there's a laundry basket in the living room. Maybe it's I wouldn't put my jacket in the laundry. There's so much in that moment. We all know that by itself, a flare-up like that is not enough to precipitate the nuclear option. Then again, the nuclear option is never the result of calm reflection. Okay, I'm writing you a note, a complete fabrication, so that you can slip back into school with as little fuss as possible. You come to me asking for my help finding the jacket that you never put away properly in the first place. And when I offer a suggestion, you bite my head off. What do I do? What does one do? Gee, honey, that's a hurtful tone. I can't even begin to see myself in that type of response because there's blood filling up my eye sockets. No response would have been a very good choice and probably the best approach. You know, when they get the last word and it's ugly and it just sits there ringing in the air untainted by anything that you say, that's when she can hear herself as others do. That's when she learns. And that's not what happened. No, what happened was, I turned away from her and I said, "Fucking bitch." What would she do? My daughter hates swearing. It's truly offensive to her. She stood there silently for a moment, and then she put out her right hand and cleared everything off my desk. And then she walked down the hall, taking out a shelf as she went. Pretty effective. Now what? I didn't respond to the shelf clearing. I mean, what was I going to say? Fucking bitch? I already made that point. And her point was, there's nothing that you can say that I can't match. Great. Now that genie's out of the bottle, and how do you get it back in? And there's nuclear waste everywhere. Who's going to clean it up? I finished the note, and she found her jacket. We're heading to the car. And she turns to me and she says, "I'm sorry about the stuff. I was not expecting that. I just scorched her tender little ears, and she apologized first. I thought we were in for a long Cold War, slamming doors and terse replies, you know, rejected attempts at reconciliation, and worst of all, having to explain it to my partner, how the morning went, the note, the jacket, the F-bomb, the shelf-bomb. And worst of all, how everything got out of control and how I blew it. And then I realized that she felt like she dropped the big one too, that she crossed the line and felt bad. So I shot right back with my own apology. "Honey, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I know how it sounds. I shouldn't have snapped at you. Thanks, honey. I really appreciate it." And then it was gone. And it never came back. You know, my daughter's not a fucking bitch. But sometimes she's really good at hiding it.
The other day I was ricocheting slowly off the blue walls of this room, moving as if underwater, from typewriter to piano, from bookshelf to an envelope lying on the floor. When I found myself in the L section of the dictionary, where my eyes fell upon the word lanyard. No cookie nibbled by a French novelist could send one into a past more suddenly. A past where I sat at a workbench at a camp by a deep Adirondack lake, learning how to braid long, thin strips of plastic into the lanyard, a gift for my mother. I'd never seen anyone use a lanyard, or wear one, if that's what you did with them. But that did not keep me from crossing strand over strand again and again, until I had made a boxy red and white lanyard for my mother. She gave me life, and milk from her breast, and I gave her a limp. She nursed me in many a sick room, lifted spoons of medicine to my lips, laid cold face cloths on my forehead, and then led me out into the airy light. And taught me to walk and swim. And I, in turn, presented her with a lanyard. Here are thousands of meals, she said. And here's clothing and a good education. And here's your lanyard. I replied, which I made a little help from a counselor. Here's a breathing body, and a beating heart, strong legs, bones, and teeth, and 2 eyes to read the world. And here, I said, is the lanyard. I made it camp. Here, I wish to say to her now, is a smaller gift, not the worn truth that you can never repay your man, but the rueful admission that when she took the 2-tone lanyard from my hand, I was as sure as a girl could be that this useless, worthless thing I wove out of boredom was enough to make us
I've gotten a lot of emails from women lately saying they are overwhelmed by motherhood. Not in a dangerous way, but in a, I totally suck and I don't know how I'm going to manage this kind of way. To this I say, you're not supposed to. If you think about it, if you had a baby thousands, if not hundreds of years ago, you would have had your mother and your sisters, all of whom were probably lactating, all taking care of your baby. They'd help with food preparation, show you how to manage, and make sure your baby wasn't eaten by a bear. Back then, the point of a child was to have free labor in the field and someone to take care of your old ass down the road. As for past generations that like to tell you they raised 6 kids on their own and did it without a washing machine, well, sort of. Keep in mind that child rearing was viewed pretty differently not that long ago. I used to walk to the store in my bare feet to buy my father's cigarettes when I was a kid. As a mother, you cooked and you cleaned, but nobody expected you to do anything more than keep your kids fed and tidy. My grandmother likes to tell the story about how she forgot my mother at the grocery store in the early 40s. She walked into the store with my mother sleeping in her carriage, parked it outside with all the other sleeping babies. She went inside to do her shopping, then walked home, forgetting that she'd taken a child with her. She quickly realized her mistake and walked back to retrieve my mother, who was still sleeping outside the store. There were no flashcards, there was no sign language unless you were deaf. There were no organic free-range bento boxes. Your job was just to see your kid through adulthood and hope they didn't become an idiot. I'm not judging, and I'm not saying one way is better than the other, but I am saying that we are a part of a generation that views parenting as a skill, like a true skill that needs to be mastered and perfected, and if we don't get it right, we think our children suffer for it, and that's hard shit to keep up with. That's not to say other generations didn't have it tough or think parenting wasn't important, but there just wasn't the same level of scrutiny that could be liked, tweeted, or Instagrammed all at once. You are in the trenches when you have a baby. To the untrained eye, it seems pretty easy and straightforward. You feed them, you bathe them, you pick them up when they cry. But it's more than that. It's perpetual motion with a generous layer of guilt and self-doubt spread on top. And that takes its toll. Feeling like you also need to keep on top of scrapbooking, sleeping patterns, food consistency, swimming lessons, television exposure. It's like trying to knit on a roller coaster. It's fucking hard. We live in a time when we can Google everything, and anyone that thinks they have it figured out is either lying or drunk or both. So don't be too hard on yourself. Your job is to provide food and shelter, love and encouragement. And that doesn't have to be provided solely by you. Feel free to outsource. It takes a village. Mommy and me classes, homemade lactation cookies, and learning Cantonese is all gravy. And if you can throw them in the mix once in a while, more power to you. I've pinned about 9,000 things on Pinterest. I think I've maybe done 4. Just fine by me. Because that is not part of my just scraping by norm. It's an amazing, exciting time to have a baby right now. But keep in mind, no one has ever done it like this before. You're pioneers that have to machete your way through new terrain. So, chin up, hang in there, and remember, you're doing a great job.
This is what herding a bunch of cats is like. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I say that most endearingly, and before I bring Lori up, perhaps I can remind you that this would be a good time to say thanks to our volunteers.
Thank
Yes.
Thanks for coming. We had a great time putting it together, and man, this was hundreds of hours of volunteer work, so thank you again. Round of applause.